Well, the Summer League is now in the books. The San Antonio Spurs didn't take away a win from this experience, but I think there are a lot of positives and a lot of growth spots that you can definitely take away from this experience. I'm Coach Rob Trejo Jr. You're watching Spurs Tube TV. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Spurs content. I want to let you guys know now. We got a lot of film rooms coming. I'm going to be working on a lot of, you see this board back here. It's just a lot of film room ideas that I've already kind of went through and started recording film, and I'm working on them. I'm going to work on them for about a week or so, and then I'm going to start putting them out. So stay tuned for that on the channel. It will be dropping soon. Okay, so some of the things we want to talk about immediately is we only got to see Primo. He went into health and safety protocols, and that kind of stunted his showcasing here in the summer league. But what did we see? Primo showed a lot of poise. He showed a lot of good decision making and a lot of bad decision making, and I think that's the main topic of concern. If you're wondering how we're going to shift away from DeJounte Murray, right, and the point guard spot, I think for the most part, you look at the roster, you see who's available right now to run the point position, and someone that they've been working on already for a year in the G League at the point is Primo. Primo ran a lot of point in the G League, initiating the offense, making a lot of the same silly passes that he made in the Summer League, he made in the G League. So we're looking to see some improvement there because in the Summer League and the G League, you make a turnover. Usually, maybe you can get it back or they miss a layup or something. In the NBA, that's a bucket. You can't be a point guard who has a high turnover rate. And the thing with Primo is that he's got great vision. He can see the whole floor. He has unbelievable size at the position. Whenever you got a tall point guard that can see the floor, someone like Josh Giddey, if you're comparing someone now or Jason Kidd back in the past, a 6'5", 6'6" point guard, Primo's at that level. He's probably going to be taller. He can really be a point facilitator, but the special thing about Primo, and he showed it in that game against Cleveland, is that he has the touch. Something that I've been saying already for a good time now since I've seen Primo play in Austin is that he's a modern day guard. He's a modern day point guard, a Damian Lillard, a Steph Curry, right? Someone who is able to create and shoot and score off the dribble with range, with ease. That's a big part of it, with ease. We haven't had a guy in here that can really shoot the three ball and you just kind of know it's going to go down. Devin Vassell has a little bit of that to him, but Primo definitely has that. And so if you put the ball in his hands, you're like uncorking the top of how good your offense can be, because half the time Primo can come down and, if he's open, hit a three in transition before the defense gets set up and stuff like that. And we saw DeJounte do it a little bit, but he wasn't all, the best at it. And it took him 4 years to do it. Primo's already doing it at year one. And now going into year two, he might have the runway to just score the ball because it's going to be in his hands. Now, excuse me. Now, if we are talking about, what are the options at point guard? Well, really, there aren't many. Trey Jones technically is still unguaranteed. I think the Spurs are going to work him. I really hope they work him back into the future plans and bring him along. But what the other thing that we're seeing in this conversation is that the Spurs fully intend to add Blake Wesley to that mix. Josh Primo, Trey Jones, maybe, and Blake Wesley. Those are your 1, 2, and 3 options at point guard. And that's something that Brian Wright has said as well, that when they drafted him, they see him being a combo guard, and that means that he's going to be able to bring up the ball. Think George Hill, right? George Hill was a combo guard in that way in San Antonio. Really one of the last that we've seen, I want to say, because I think DeJounte and Derek White were both point guards. I think Lonnie was a shooting guard. I don't think anyone else really got that opportunity to be both. No one's had that opportunity in a while here in San Antonio. So Blake Wesley might be that guy who gets those minutes. I do think we're seeing that there's still plenty of development to be had there from Blake. in the realm of decision making with the ball in your hand, running your offense, keeping your team together. Being that leader on the floor, on both sides of the court. Being a point guard isn't all about just knowing the plays and knowing where everyone's at and all that type of stuff. But nowadays, it's a lot more than that. You have to be able to score. You have to be able to be the number one point of attack that breaks down a defense, especially in transition or the secondary break. And Blake Wesley has all that. I see a lot of like Russell Westbrook in his downhill game. I think that's something that he showcased very well in the G League. I mean, not in the G League, in the Summer League, is that he can really be a downhill type player, even in like a half court situation. Comes off a pick and roll, or if the guy that's guarding him is just giving him like a wide open lane, like here you go, he's going to beat that guy one on one and get to the rim. And the improvement area is what he does at the rim when he gets there. That's where he has plenty of improvement to be had for Blake at the point at the well that's scoring the ball, and you want to see him get stronger and develop a little bit. He's 19, so a lot of this is strength issues. I think right now, he's going to learn how to adjust his timing on his release and how to seek contact in NBA, where he'll be able to get to the rim and finish at a high efficiency rate, because he needs to put the ball in the hole, or else you're just kind of Lonnie Walker. You can get there, but you don't really know what to do with it, right? No, not to knock on Lonnie, but he had all the athleticism in the world. Wasn't really able ever to get going at, being an elite finisher at the rim. So we're seeing that Joshua Primo is able to play both on and off ball. I think that's something that we saw in that Cleveland game as well, as we saw that we're looking to get Joshua Primo open and have him coming off screens and setting screens and popping out, all that type of stuff. So that let Blake Wesley be the point guard. But, I think into next season, it doesn't work out that way. I think it works out more with the ball in Primo's hands. So that's one of the big takeaways is who's initiating the offense better. And to be honest, there wasn't really like a big gap between Primo and Wesley in the terms of initiating the offense and being a good decision maker. They both were turning over the ball. They both made silly passes. They both had a lot of mistakes. And they're both like the same age. Yeah, Primo has a year in the league. They both are right next to each other in the terms of maybe development at that spot. I think Primo gets the nod right now, but Blake Wesley isn't that far behind, and he's showing that he has a lot of upside when it comes to scoring the ball. He's a great shooter. He can hit the mid-range jumper in transition. He's aggressive. I think that's something you can absolutely give to Blake Wesley, is that he's extremely aggressive, and if you give him the lane, he's going to take it, and he's going to go and try to score or get fouled, or he gets blocked. He got blocked quite a bit in this Vegas Summer League, and that's kind of not really a concern. He just has to develop and understand how he's going to be able to finish at this level, and then once he does, he'll be fine, because he can get there. That's the impressive part, is that he's getting to the rim, he's beating people off the dribble and all that. So great stuff out of Blake Wesley. Defensively, he's shown both. I'm not really too worried about defense right now. I'm not gonna hold Summer League as like this big, pivotal evaluation point. It's really just like a showcase, and let's see what happens if we do this with you or do that. I think that's kind of what teams are doing. They're experimenting, and with Blake and everyone else defensively right now, it's about learning terminology. It's about learning how the Spurs operate. What are they accountable for? What do the coaches harp on? What are they all? What are the coaches telling you to do? Make sure you go out there and do it, and do it at the best, to the best that you can. It's not really about doing everything, because there's a lot of different aspects to Summer League. It's not just showcasing players, but a lot of other players are trying to get jobs and get contracts. So, as a coach, and you kind of delegate, the time on the floor. No one's trying to really win games. Yes, you want to win at the end if you're in it. We saw against the Warriors, we wanted to win that game. We lost, I think, all of our games. So putting all the wins and losses aside, there was a lot of good stuff. Now let's talk about Malaki Branham, to finish out this pod, and kind of my initial takeaways. Now, again, I'm going to be doing a lot of film rooms in the future. Over the next few weeks, I'm just going to be pumping out breakdowns of different plays, different sets, how something that just stood out to me, right? I'm going to try to break it down for you guys on film. So subscribe to the channel if you're interested in watching those summer league breakdowns. But Malaki Branham started off a little slow. I think his first game or two, he kind of struggled to find his rhythm. I think once Primo was out of there, it started to pick up for him a little bit more. He started getting more touches, more open lanes to the basket. You saw that Malaki definitely has a special touch, and he is a daylight seeker. like if you don't know what I mean, is what I'm trying to say is that anytime he has the ball, if there's an inch of daylight, he has a quick like decision making process to just notice that he's open and goes immediately up into his shot. It's fast. And if there's an inch of daylight, he's going to shoot it. And we saw him do that plenty of times throughout the summer league. I'm going to be breaking that down as well. And that's very impressive. It's very impressive how at 19 years old he already knows where his spots are and how to get to his spots. And if he's there, he's gonna pull it, and he's not afraid to shoot the basketball. He has this sneaky athleticism. I haven't watched every single quarter. I'm recording and I'm breaking down film and all that as we go. So I'm going to be, kind of going through the film. But he had a couple of almost nasty posters, like a couple of times where he was driving to the lane and he just rose up and tried to jam it on a couple guys. And I don't think any of them went down. But that's the athleticism that I didn't really know was there for Malaki Branham. He plays really low to the ground. He moves really well without the ball. He doesn't try to do anything too athletic. Brian Wright has mentioned that he's athletic, but really only on a straight line, and I think you can definitely see that in this summer league. Is that he doesn't do a lot of craftiness with the ball. He's not moving laterally to euro step anybody. He's not giving you 1-2 moves to the right, spinning back the other way and then finishing on the opposite side. He's not doing anything, in particular like that. It's very just, hey, if the lane is open, I'm going to take it. Or if my shot is there, I'm going to shoot it. And if the lane is there to jam it on you, I'm going to do that too. And it's real like A, B, or C with Malaki. And so that's very impressive because, again, the young age, it takes a lot of maturity and poise to know your game, to be able to break it down like that. Again, I think both of these guys are kind of replacing Lonnie. Which one is going to replace Lonnie off the bench? Who's going to be that primary scorer off the bench? Is it going to be Blake or is it going to be Malaki? And Malaki definitely shows the ability to, if given the opportunity to get shots, he's going to seek them and get them off. And hopefully, his touch just kind of progresses through his years and just, his efficiency rate gets higher and higher over the next few years. Then he'll be okay because, like I said, he's a daylight seeker and he can really, really do that. Last minute or so of this pod, I want to give a shout out to Dominick Barlow. Extremely impressed by his upside and what he might be able to do. He can put the ball on the floor. He can rebound. He can block. He can set good screens. He can do a lot on the floor. He's someone that I can see coming in and out of Austin. He's definitely going to spend some time there, especially with the addition of Isaiah Roby to the Spurs roster. Depending on if we keep Jakob Poeltl, all that really depends on Dominick Barlow's future with the San Antonio Spurs, how many minutes he gets and all that. But I'm very excited to have him on the roster. I'm going to be doing some film rooms on him as well. So all that being said, those are just some of the initial takeaways from the Summer League. Going to do a lot more in-depth analysis through film. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like this video. If you want to support the channel, there's memberships down on the join button down below. Also, you can donate to the channel with the thanks button as well. So go Spurs go. I've been Rob Trejo Jr. Make sure to follow us on Instagram